Hey guys, this is Cody, and you're on channel Cody Tarot. I'm filming the intro at nighttime. I just filmed the pick a cards during the day earlier today, and we got a lot of good stuff. So today's reading is basically what society expects from you and how to fulfill those expectations. So pretty simple. You can apply this to any type of society you're thinking of. So this can be a smaller society like family. This can be a slightly bigger society like friends or associates, or it could be even co-workers in a work situation. It could also be society at large, a very broad general picture of like maybe everyone in your country or everyone in the world, what everyone in the world wants from you. So society is a very term that you can apply to many different things. So before you pick your crystal, think about what society you're thinking about. What society do you want to know information about and how they want you to behave? And that's what the reading is going to give you the information on. So let's get to the crystals. So the first crystal here we have is this citrine piece. So if you're attracted to the citrine piece, then pick this one. Second, we have this piece of aquamarine. So if you like this piece of aquamarine, then pick this one. Next, we have this piece of amethyst. This amethyst looks like more purple in the daytime, just FYI. But yeah, if you like this piece of amethyst, pick this amethyst. Then we have this double quartz, this double pointed clear quartz. So if you like this one, pick this one. Then we also have this moonstone. So if you like this moonstone, then pick this moonstone. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment to pick the crystals and decide which one you want out of the different piles. I'm going to pause the video. You can pause the video here too if you need a little bit more time to decide, but after that, we're going to get on with the reading. So here you go. All right, now that you have picked your crystal, we will get on with the reading, starting with group number 1, the citrine. Okay, group 1, this is if you picked the citrine. So let's get into your reading. So we're gonna pull some cards to see what society kind of expects from you, what your society that you live in kind of wants you to do. And shuffle one more time. And then these are the cards that are basically like, how can you provide for that need that society, or like, how could you provide for that need in a way that doesn't take too much sweat off your back? Like, how does that translate into what you can do? Make sure these are all in the camera. Okay, let's see what you have. Okay, so let's get into your reading. So first, what does society expect from you? So the basic expectations, or what we've got here, are this idea of like people kind of see you and expect you to be, you'll get a lot of opportunities in this realm, whether or not you're good at them, is they basically want you, your society wants you to multitask, kind of like being able to take care of all these things at once, being able to balance your life fairly well, not drop the ball. They also are looking for you to be some kind of like entrepreneurial, to have some entrepreneurial kind of spirit. the kind that like they want you to be a leader, but more than a leader, they want you to be able to, in a way, be self-sufficient and start your own projects, or basically like be self-motivated, right? Like be able to make your way in the world through motivation of that in that department. Page of Swords, what we see right here is communication's a really big deal. People want you to be a good communicator. Society expects you to, be, pretty even well with the written word, but just being able to be a good talker, a communicator, and like find your language to communicate within. So what does that mean? How can you fulfill these needs that society has put onto you? So what we have here for below the Two of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Cups, right? What we see here is that you're balancing, what you balance your life with stems from your emotions, right? And your heart center. So if your heart is in alignment, you will be able to balance all your things in your life very, very well. So it's all about, for you, the secret to this is keeping your heart in alignment. And that could mean anything from getting rid of painful relationships, to nourishing relationships that mean something, to starting new relationships. Oftentimes the Ace of Cups, when I pull it in readings, is often associated with the beginning of a new relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise, just kind of like that initial spark of a connection. So what we're seeing here is you want to keep your heart fueled, and keep it feeling good. You don't want to lead the world with a broken heart, or else you won't be able to accomplish all these different tasks and all of that. Now, interesting enough with what they want you to do for the entrepreneurial activity. So for the entrepreneurial activity, what they're really looking for is interesting. In a way, you have to isolate yourself to get to figure out how to accomplish that task. So soul searching, right, is really going to help put you on the path to being more of an entrepreneur, is what society wants you to become, So being that in that soul searching mindset, looking and seeing what you have and don't have, and also on top of that, looking and feeling like what it is within you that is your driving factor, your driving force. Sometimes these entrepreneurial activities, like if you're trying to start a business or you're trying to start a company or whatever, the best way for you to do this, because society kind of likes that, your society that you live in wants you to kind of be that way. And society can be anything from like friends and family to like bigger picture at large. It's whatever you view society as, however you're trying to fit in with the group. But basically you have to go within to figure out the answers to that solution. So it's kind of an interesting thing, because entrepreneurs, you think of someone who's extroverted or a self-starter for a company or something like that. But you actually have to go within to get those ideas of what you're going to do and accomplish and how you're going to go about accomplishing that. The most success comes to you when you're not isolated, but when you're withdrawn within yourself and learning what that is that you can accomplish from within. And then we have something really cool and interesting over here with the Page of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Basically, the language that is going to be the most respected is the communication with the language of money. So it's almost as if they want you to be a communicator, right? But they want you to do it with material possessions. So the best way I can put this is like transactions with people. This is really going to help you. This give and take, this sharing, and this ability to accept generosity and to be very generous is going to really help with your communication. It's going to really loosen the wheels, right, of the communication. Your communication is direct. The good, positive communication is directly related to how much you're giving and sharing, right? Or accepting generosity as well, that goes in that. So kind of keeping everything kind of fluid between you and other people on a financial level will also keep the communication channels clear. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked the reading, like or comment below. If you want to see more of these picket cards, subscribe to my channel. I really enjoyed reading for you guys today. And moving on to group number 2. Hello, group 2. This is if you picked the Aquamarine crystal. So let's see. These cards are going to be what society wants from you, or how society feels that you could best, serve in there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's see what else you get. And these cards are going to represent the key to fulfilling those needs, how you can accomplish that. I feel like shuffling once. Whoops. Okay, so let's see. Wow, double Wheel of Fortune. Make sure those are in the camera. Okay, let me make sure the camera's on. So what we see here is some interesting things. So basically society, just generally as I look over the cards as a whole, society kind of wants you to be a little more submissive. You might have the personality that people kind of want to keep quiet or keep down, if that makes sense. But there's a way to work with that. So, and to be a success in your society kind of wants you to play more of a submissive role. But there's ways that you can play that and still get what you want out of the situation. So first of all, we have Four of Swords. Now this is you have two. You have the Wheel of Swords upright and the Wheel of Swords reversed. We're going to get into how those are affected in this whole reading in a second. But first, Four of Swords. Four of Swords upright just represents that society kind of wants you to be resting. They want you to just relax, take it easy, don't make a success of yourself. Society wants you to be very chill, nonchalant, and laid back, right? Luckily, what we see here with the Wheel of Fortune is that this creates positive spins of good luck in your life. So whenever you're relaxed or resting or taking a break from the hectic day-to-day, you really get renewed, how do I put this, luck in your life. Kind of like things start to go well for you, things become lucky, which interestingly enough starts making you more active. It makes you feel more like you want to be active and engaged with life. But what we see right here is, and it's kind of like this active luckiness, right? So the more luck you feel, the more it spins and spins and spins. But here's the other interesting thing. Society also doesn't want you to be lucky. They want you to be kind of submissive and in kind of a unlucky role. So how do you go about this, right? Well, first of all, with Ace of Cups right here, if you look at this heart in her hand, right? This is about kind of keeping the secrets to yourself. So you have to kind of keep your luck to yourself. You can't really share too much of your lucky happenstances with society. You just have to kind of know that things are going really well for you all the time, and no one else gets to know it because people don't want you to feel lucky. And it makes sense with like this Wheel of Fortune card. So really, you will be having like all the blessings in the world. It's just that society doesn't want you to see it. We also see here that with Ace of Cups, you can kind of get around this by starting and making connections with people, which means like empathizing with people. So the more empathy you put into a relationship, the more you can share a little bit of the luck that you created and what that's doing for you, as long as you are actually understanding that person first. So what we have here with the Eight of Pentacles, people, now the submissive rule is not all bad. It sounds pretty bad that society wants you to be submissive, or this is society that you're thinking of. This could be like family, friends, or a bigger group of people. They also like it that you're a student. They want you to be a student, an apprentice. They see you as in a learning role. They see you as someone who, yeah, they want to make you put you in a slightly more submissive position, but that's because they see you as kind of immature. They see you as kind of like in the student role. So they would really respect you if you are working towards personal goals of some kind, or you're educating yourself or going to school. They see you as this potential loop, right? Where you're kind of always seem like this person with potential, but you're never quite the person who's gonna like get the job. But you're like, oh, I can recommend you for this workshop type of thing. So what we have here with death and rebirth, and this is kind of interesting, and this kind of goes along with the empathy and the connections a little bit, is with death and rebirth, if you look at this card, this man has a empty, hollow face. right? So this is kind of like letting people see through you. So even though people think they see you, letting them see through that and moving on. So how do I explain this? It's kind of that mindset of as soon as people start projecting things on you, you just have to let the projections flow through you, right? As soon as they start projecting you the student role, like, oh, you still need to learn, or you're immature, or you're not good enough, you know, you have to let those go through you, literally through you, as if you were invisible, right? And weirdly enough, that facilitates this change in their perception of you, right? It makes you seem more mature if you don't acknowledge these little like slights that people are passing your way. So it gives you this kind of maturity, and just like death itself, you know, kind of like the oldest force in the universe, like how often, you know, and how long has it been in the universe and on Earth, on the planet Earth, that death and life have existed? I mean, things have been dying since, you know, day one. So yeah, it's going to be one of those things. They're going to see you as more mature, an older force, a force to be reckoned with, a powerful force. The beautiful thing is we have 3 major arcana cards here, right? So this is just showing that you can achieve a lot of success playing to what society wants from you, but also playing up your strengths, you know? Just know that people are going to be a little less hard on you with this lucky thing, that they kind of want you to not succeed as much. They just kind of see you as lesser and that you're not as deserving of success. But as soon as you start making those connections and sharing that empathy and keep, you know, you can keep these lucky things to yourself, but also when you start sharing with that empathy, and empathizing with other people and their issues, they're going to want a little bit more success for you. Yeah, it's looking really great. Like this is a really positive omen, this wheel of fortune. It looks like when people are telling you it's time to rest, or, you know, take a break, don't work so hard, that kind of thing. It looks as if those moments, like if you actually listen, are going to provide a lot of beneficial luck coming your way, coincidentally enough. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, you can like or comment below. And if you really enjoy this reading, you can subscribe to my channel. There'll be more pick a cards like this coming out soon. It was really lovely. It was really lovely reading for you guys, and I hope to see you in the next pick a card. Moving on to group 3. Hey, group 3. This is if you picked the Amethyst chip. I'm gonna get some better pieces of Amethyst. This one's a little janky, but it's pretty nonetheless. I like it. The purple is really deep and cool. I hope you guys can see that in this lighting. The purple in there. All right, so let's get you some cards. So the top cards, these ones right here, are for like what society wants from you, like how society feels like you can best fit into the mold of what they want. These cards right here are the little tips and tricks of how you can play to that effect that society's trying to have over you, so you can be successful like to society's standards. Make sure that's all in the screen. Wow. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about your personality. You're a very powerful personality. As far as like how society views you, you have a way of working with society that makes life for you like very easy. I know that's like, I know you came to this reading with help on how to integrate into society, but it looks like you're very closely linked in with society. But we still have things that you could do nonetheless. So first, what society wants from you. So this King of Cups energy, this is the type of person, with the Queen of Swords right here too. People look at you as like a leader, right? People look at you as the type of person who is going to show people the way out of things, show them the way of how to move in society. So you're almost kind of like the royalty of society. You kind of decide where certain, social trends go and where certain things happen in your community, either with your family, whatever society you questioned or asked about, whether it was friends, family, bigger society at large. You have such a way with them, and you always remain calm in the face of all the stuff that's going on around you, right? And you always go with the flow, as we see with the Queen of Swords. You always kind of go with the flow of the communication and the direction the trends are heading in the wind, right? So we also see this whole analogy with a fish, right? So there's two fish here. There's a fish in the King of Cups, and this whole Knight of Cups has a little red outline of a fish. The Knight is very symbolic because as the King and the Queen are the head of the throne, the Knight is kind of like a servant to the King and the Queen. He runs out and does things in the kingdom or the community, as some kind of like a liaison. So what this is talking about, and what we see in the Fool card here too is a little bit, is like this whole fishing metaphor. As the King and Queen of Swords, you can imagine like this sword right here is like a fishing rod, and you can imagine this fish is someone who's like looking up to you. It's like you're fishing. We're going to use that analogy a lot in this reading. And basically, you're looking for more fish that are going to help you achieve your goal, right? And this is how society sees you. This might not actually be how you view yourself, but this is how society sees you. They see you as kind of like a leader. They see you as someone who can kind of pluck people out of the world and create your own personal little group with kind of like a following of like fishes. You're kind of like buying fish for a fish pond, right? And you're the one that's in the top. You're like the owner of the fish pond. All these people love being your pet fish, and they like, that's kind of the vibe that society wants to give you. Society wants you to be kind of like a leader. They look up to you like a leader, and they see you as like taking care of them. It's interesting. It's very much like you're very much a leader type personality. Now, what we see here, the best way to move in society, right? So I'm going to skip this for now and we'll go over to here for a second. So with the Queen of Swords, the actual showing people the way in society, showing them how to live better, showing them how to, do their life better, showing them all these different ways of being. So the Star card just says that like, if you want to fulfill this need in society, first and foremost, you have to be on your own path, your own beautiful spiritual path. You have to find that first. So people might project these leadership qualities onto you, but in order to fulfill those qualities, you have to know what your own path is first. And that could be entirely separate from this reading, completely. And I can like do a reading about that too. If you guys want, you can let me know in the comments if you want a reading on like what is your path or following your path in life or what that true path means to you. But basically it's looking within and figuring out what truly fulfills you. And it's kind of like your spiritual journey. And you want to make sure you're connected and in alignment with your spiritual journey. That is really when you're in alignment with your spiritual journey, when you show people the way, it'll really feel like they're being led by someone who truly understands their needs and desires. The Fool right here just represents, right here with this Knight of Cups, kind of the fish and the Knight, this just represents the best way to fulfill this need. It's interesting because people expect you to be this kind of like fisherman person, right? But we see right here, if you see the Fool and like imagine she's fishing, and this whole river down here is kind of like the river full of fish, right? Surrendering yourself into the home of where all these people are, kind of like letting yourself be engulfed by your environment and surrounded by your environment. That is really what is going to bring, help you with this fishing mentality. You're not outside the pond fishing for these supporters and followers and people to go along with your vision. You're literally swimming with them in the pool. And we see that again reiterated in the World card. If you look at these symbols, they're very similar. This symbol right here over the pond is very similar to this symbol in the World card. So what we see here is that once you're in the water, right? Once you're in the pool, you create kind of this like protective bubble around you, and all these kind of like ideas flow and come in and out of your being. And you kind of get like all this, how do I explain this? You get this kind of like inspiration that's going to help you lead even better, right? And the bubble is also the calm center. It's very interestingly enough, all these things are very aligned because you already move really well in society. So all of these things are already very aligned with the top cards. There's not too much like opposition. They're just very much in alignment. Like the world here shows you like leading people with the King of Cups, and that emotional balance with the circle, and this is mirrored in the King of Cups card. The King of Cups energy, who is an incredibly emotional, balanced person. This just shows you in the water with the fish. So basically the general advice for this is, in order to lead, you have to kind of get down in the soup with everyone else. You kind of have to do what everyone else is doing, and maybe not be so aloof. Also, you really want to make sure you're on your true spiritual path, what you truly want to follow in this life. And then that'll make these leadership abilities manifest that much more. You'll further be able to fulfill all these needs when you start to understand almost the needs of others and the needs of yourself in order to, lead this group, as, because you are being put up on a pedestal as a leader by society, or the society you asked about. So I hope that helped. If you liked the reading, like or comment below. And if you really enjoyed the reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I post a lot of these pick a cards pretty frequently. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading for you guys. Moving on with group number 4. Hey, group number 4. This is if you picked the double pointed clear quartz. Move that there. So let's see. This card that I'm drawing right now is how society wants you to be, or what they expect from you. So we'll pull some of these cards. And what we have here with these cards is how you can come to common ground with that society, and how you can fulfill those needs in your society. Okay, so the first thing, we have some interesting things going on here. So society tends to view you as kind of like the bad guy, just naturally, like just in your life, and like typically like things you do, society kind of like sees you as, I don't know, okay, bad guy's not the right word. They just see you as kind of like lost. That's probably a better way to put it. But if you find that you have a difficult time moving in society, that's because like a lot of these things are kind of polarizing elements. So the last group, we had someone who really like worked very well in society, and they almost didn't even need the reading. But this is a type of person that like you might actually really benefit from this reading. So what we have over here with the Two of Swords. Okay, first thing is society kind of has this way that they kind of see you as kind of like a darker soul, like someone who's more of like, not evil, like a princess of the night. I mean, I don't know, you dress in dark clothing, or you kind of, how do I put this? You kind of have more like striking features of kind of like strange or bizarre type of things. They see you as someone who's in tune with like kind of like the shadow side of life, like really in tune with your shadow side and the darker aspects of this existence. What they don't realize here is that this is all a matter of you being blind to what is presented by society as the light, right? So you might be a person who has like light within them, right? But society is projecting this darker tone to you, or making you out to be someone you're not, or maybe someone you're more evil than you are. You know, maybe you are really a good person, but they're seeing you as someone who's maybe kind of shady or whatnot. But that's just because you only see your own inner light, right? You're blinded to what society sees as your light, right? So basically all that's required of you is to kind of like take off that blindfold and see the light of society. So a lot easier said than done, but we will get into that. Second, so they see you as someone who is like plagued by very like mysterious vibes, mysterious, subconscious, hidden motives. Maybe they see you as someone who's very dreamy. They see you as some, but also their focus is that the fact that you're very strange. They see you as very strange. So they kind of think that you should be someone who does like strange or weird things, or society kind of wants to put you into a mold of kind of like, not really a bad person, but a person that kind of has like, how do I put this? It goes along with this whole shadow side to you, right? Where they see you as someone who dwells in the shadows. You know, the moon is also a card of the night. And even when we get to the Ten of Swords over here, we see this as someone that maybe society doesn't really approve of, or doesn't approve of your kind of like nature, you know, your kind of like the way this is all the way they see you, right? Kind of like your truth is down here. So basically, in order to fulfill their desire of this moon card, you have to get more in touch with your intuition. What it's saying is, even if you are intuitive or not, people perceive you as intuitive. They perceive you as kind of like your subconscious either plagues them or informs their decisions. You're basically driven by these kind of like interesting mystical forces, and people kind of see you like that. Now, how to appease the society in which you live is really surrender. And also with this woman, she's just holding her hands up, like, just kind of like when, you know, when someone is kind of like about to attack you, right? A sign of like showing that you're defenseless and you don't want anything to do with the attack, and you just want to talk. You know, you just want to talk. You just want to calm down. You throw your hands up like this. I just want to talk, you know, and also her head is lifted high in her own intuitive power. You know, letting anyone who wants to come and take a piece of, you know, I'm going to say food for this analogy, food out of her bowl, right? It's almost like they see you as some sort of defensive, or your kind of strange behavior is kind of like a shield against what they perceive as an open personality. So all it takes is kind of like just being like, hey, look, don't worry about it. Just come over here. Like, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. I'm not doing anything. I'm totally defenseless. Like, you have to kind of show that you're defenseless, and at the same time, connect in with your intuitive self, right? If they're projecting this intuition on you and you're not showing any signs of being intuitive, their fears about your mind are going to keep growing until you start to explain and show what your intuition is all about, how your mind actually works. So you kind of have to let them take a piece of you, right? You kind of have to open up your armor, your boundaries, and let them in a little bit. Hey, like, just come, you can come over here. It's safe. I'm not going to do anything. If you look at the moon here, right here with these animals, like a dog and a wolf and a lobster, right? Wild animals and domestic animals are very different, right? So what you want to try to do is get them into this dog position, where really they're at this wolf or wild animal position, where they're kind of skittish around you, right? But you want to get them to the point where they kind of just come up and, like, you know, lick you and have a good time, and, you know, like, sorry, that sounded bad. Lick you and have a good time. They want you want to be in a position where there's a symbiotic relationship. Even though you're two different species, it's good to get that symbiotic relationship. And then we see here with the Ten of Swords, this is an interesting thing. So really what they want to see here with this is your value system, right? This is kind of like how you truly are as a person, and you need to explain your values very explicitly and specifically, is what you believe is right or wrong, right? We see here you kind of keep this into yourself with this blindfold on. It's not that the values of society they're kind of blind to you, if that makes sense. Like, you kind of see them, but you don't like, people don't see you associated with them because you have your own values inside, because you've been blind for like so long looking within at your own view of the world, that because you're so internal and you're always looking within, you're so disconnected from the society around you, right? So people get suspicious of that, you know. But the Lovers basically comes out and says that you already know what you are all about and what you value. Now it's just about expressing that to people. So it's about sharing. So really this is all about like removing the blindfold. So the best way to move in society, removing the blindfold, really see what's going on around you. Really look at the people around you. What are they doing? What are they saying? How are they reacting to me? You know, that's really just your awareness of people, of other people, is going to have them perceive you in a less clouded light. Also, you need to stand with your hands up, kind of in this, you know, position of, I'm not going to harm you. I'm not going to harm you. You can take a little bit out of this bowl. It's not a big deal. You need to let people learn that they can take from you without anything, you know, strange or weird going to happen to them, you know. Yeah, she's a witch. No, sorry. I don't know if you're a witch or not, but it just reminds me of like that. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, so the Lovers just represents that it's good to share and it's good to show those values. And interestingly enough, this card also pops up when your values are lining up with someone else. So in a weird way, even though they see you as someone that could hurt them, you know, when you start to share your values of the world and how you view things and how you view life and all those things, it's really going to bring people closer into you. You know, if you share it like very specifically and let them know exactly what it all means to you. You know, and that's also, interestingly enough, I'm getting a message that that's how you're going to attract a love interest too to your life, is by sharing your value system with people. And that's how a love partner is going to, it's going to be how love is attracted to you, basically. So I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. If you did, like or comment below. Subscribe if you want to for this channel, because we're going to put more readings up in the future. And I really enjoyed reading for you guys. Best of luck with all this. Good luck. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next pick a card. Moving on to group 5. Okay, group 5, if you picked the Moonstone, this will be your reading. So these cards that I'm shuffling right now are how society wants you to act or behave, what their opinions, impressions are of you, how they want you to act, and how they view you as a person. Then what we have here are basically how you can satisfy those needs and make your way more easier in society. You finally fulfill those things that society wants you to accomplish. Let's see if that's all in the camera. Yep. Okay, so let's flip over your cards. Wow, the last group got that card. Last group got that card. I did not shuffle well. This is a different card. There we go. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, let's start off with your reading. So first things first. So how society views you. Now, these cards appeared in the last reading, but they are represented a little differently, basically because of the key we got here for how you're supposed to affect those changes in society. So similarly to the previous group, Page of Cups right here just shows that you are kind of more of a strange, like people see you kind of in the shadows or in the clouds, like someone who's attracted to more of the darker, unknown sides of life, someone who's maybe attracted to more mystical things, but it's kind of perceived in more of a negative way by people. But what they think is that you really should belong or do kind of something along those lines, you know, like kind of really get involved in some kind of weird or bizarre type of like lifestyle. They kind of see you like that. Ten of Swords upright just really represents kind of like attracting negative vibrations from people. you know, people kind of see you as like this magnet that attracts negativity. So it's kind of like, actually in this position and how it is presented here, it's very endearing, really. Like, this could be an endearing trait. People could kind of see you as the type of person like, oh man, they get such a bad rap. Like, I feel so bad for them. You know, it's kind of like an endearing quality. You know, they kind of see you as someone who attracts kind of like bad luck, kind of against what you would rather want, you know? And then in the Strength card right here, this kind of ties in with the Knight of Cups. And this is all about finding a relationship. So people see you as very strong and independent, right? We have a woman in this card, so I'm thinking very female energy, that divine feminine energy, that you might have this divine feminine energy, right? And they see you strong and independent. And like this lion here, kind of like very graceful. You know, we see over here, and you want to compare these two cards. This Ten of Swords is hit by all these arrows, right? But at the same time, all these arrows are hitting this piece of wood, but the lion and the woman stand untouched. So this also represents how they see that although they see a lot of bad things happening to you, they see you that you kind of take it in stride and you hold yourself high, right? Society, what they want you to be like is someone who endures hardships. They want you to be the type of person that, you know, finds that hardship and then gets through it and comes out on top, you know, better and stronger than ever. So that's kind of how they view you and what they want from you. They want you to, you know, endure and take the hardships, but also come out of it better and stronger than before. So how do you fulfill those needs? First of all, with the hardships and enduring the hardships, how they kind of view that, there is an aspect of it's interesting, because although they see these things coming from outside of yourself, these things are really coming from within yourself. It's coming from this idea that you see yourself. If you look at this girl, she's looking in the mirror. So this is a self-reflection of herself. She's looking in the mirror, and all these crows are binding her up with this white rope, right? And that's kind of how you view society, as what they're doing to you. So it's interesting because society, they want you to endure these hardships, but they are not the ones, they don't feel responsible for the hardships. And we see here, it's actually you yourself, you know, as you're looking at your reflection and kind of introspecting as you look at your reflection, seeing yourself as tied or bound up in these issues. And that's what keeps perpetuating the hardships from coming, you know, or keeps them coming. Now we see here that this is all an illusion. Totally and completely, you are safe. So, and you think of it like this. They want you, and they feel like you are this person who endures tons of hardships, and you come out stronger than before and more graceful than before. Yeah, you're a little strange. You're a little more attracted to the weird stuff in life, but that's okay. They see you as this person who endures hardships, comes out stronger than before. What we see here is once you get into this locked perspective, mirror scrying could really help in this situation. But once you get locked in this perspective of seeing that this is only a reflection, this is only how you're viewed from the outside, this is just what people see. Right here, the woman right here is totally free from all these restrictions, all these binds. Really, you're not enduring any hardships, right? It's a matter of perspective, and it's a matter of separating yourself from society's, how they see you as enduring hardships, to how you truly feel you're living your life. You don't feel like you're enduring hardships. So it's interesting that society views you as the type of person that wants you to like overcome hardships, because what we see here with this person is really this is all about separating yourself a little bit from society's expectations. Once you see these things tying you up as just something in your reflection, you're free to walk away and move around and do what you want, especially all and completely in your inner world. What we see here with the Page of Cups reversed and the High Priestess. So they see you as a little weird, right? They see you as a little strange, a little in touch with the darker sides of life. With the High Priestess here, we literally see you coming out and literally telling people things. So they might see you as a strange or a weird person, but if you come out and you share your intuition with them, it was kind of similar to the last group. The last group had to be kind of make themselves vulnerable so people weren't threatened by them. For you, it's about sharing your insights, right? People, this is more the cloud here, is more people wanting to see what you have, what you're capable of, what is originating from inside your mind, you know? And so the High Priestess right here just shows a woman who, you know, even though her eyes are closed, she is seeing into this person's soul, the person that you're, you know, communicating with. So basically, just starting to share some of your intuitive insights with people is really going to get them to really kind of realize like, oh, wow, that's interesting. You know, it's kind of this mystery thing, and they want that mystery fulfilled, you know? Right here, with the Strength card and enduring the hardships, what we see here with the Knight of Cups is to fulfill this need of being a strong, graceful person. Really what you're going to have to do is, we see over here that you're not actually going through these hardships. Like technically you start to evade these hardships because you realize that it's only a reflection of yourself and how society perceives you. So when they see you as graceful and coming out of these hardships, really what you're doing is you're flirting with them, or you're flirting with society. So if you take this mindset of being a flirt or being kind of like flirtatious, this might be dressing up in nice, you know, fancy clothes and like going out and like saying a few coy things to certain people. You know, once you like take on that mindset of being like a little more playful in your energy, that really comes across as this grace that they want to see from you, as how you're enduring your hardships. It comes off as optimism and positivity at the same time. So yeah, just getting a little romantic with it, with your nature and your personality. So yeah, what we see here is just, you know, it's very interesting. I see this path, once you start unlocking things, I see it as a very easy way to get society to like you. They're always going to see you as someone who endures hardships. That's just kind of how they view you. But in order to survive that appropriately and blend in with society and, you know, get your best foot forward in there, just follow these steps, you know, and you will get there. So if you like the reading, like, comment below if you want to, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these pick-a cards. I post pretty frequently, and I'm always coming up with new things and new ideas and new stuff to do. So I really enjoyed reading for you guys. It was such a pleasure. And that was it for the reading, so I will see you guys later. Bye.